kind of give some narrative as we go through it. These are all in alphabetical order, so nothing on importance or rank with us or anything like that. Just a quick two. It's mainly three, but a couple I couldn't decide. So we got four. So the first one, Zach Amlin, another young man from the Hun School that just really has a big body that has great flex. He bends well. You see him getting pad level, driving his feet. He's able to stay and maintain blocks. One of the things we talk about all the time is transitional power, which means a lot of times when you get kids that are as big as Zach, the bigger they get, all right, their ability to contact and move people, but a lot of them lose their balance as they move while they're applying strength, right? So transitional power is the ability to move, all right, people and keep your feet moving with strength and power, which he does. This last clip kind of reminds me of the movie Blind Side when they took the kid out of the ran back out of the end zone. I'm sure you guys remember that clip in the movie. But first time I saw this play, that's what I kind of thought. I also thought, my goodness, there's a mother and a father in the stands that has to watch this. But this is really just a kind of definition. I think Zach will make Coach Smith does a tremendous job. We've got a lot of players from the Hun School excited. Alex Bray comes to us from Marquette High School down in Chesterfield. Really excited. He came to our camp. J-Mo came off the field after working with him, was very excited. Here you see him do a rip uppercut. Really long, athletic, 250, 260-pound guy. We think he's going to be kind of that defensive end, 4-eye, played a little bit of outside pass rush value. Really explosive. Here you see him get double teamed. He gets vertical in a very quick fashion, and then he just got tremendous fight power. I know Coach really loved what he did in high school, and in this last play, you see him make an athletic play, coming off making an interception. Just really athletic, big kid that has showed really great leadership skills. Anybody in that school just can't say enough of him. Jaheem Clark, kind of an interesting story. He's from down near where Quan's from, goes to Riverdale High School. His head coach, Frank Hepler, I signed a kid from him over 20 years ago when I was an assistant coach at the University of Iowa. And now Coach Hepler is a head coach at Riverdale. Coach Henry went in there, fell in love with this young man. Jaheem is a guy that here you're going to see him makes a tremendous break on the ball. When you come into school, he takes all honors classes. Could have graduated early, but is so far down his time there that he's actually going to not enroll until the summer, but really gifted. Here you see him make a play after the catch. Long, rangy athlete, that great burst. Very, very few corners when you recruit him want to talk about physicality, but here you'll see it. He didn't want to have his interceptions. He wanted to have big hits, right? And his game kind of reminds me of a young man that we're losing this year early in the draft, but really like what he does, what he brings. Here you see another in-breaking route. Very, very instinctive. Does really nice things on film all over the place. And then here you see the last clip here is a kick returner, punt returner. They were having a great year, and really he got injured. He's fine now, played an all-star game, but here you're going to see he has really the ability to change direction. A couple of these guys in Florida, you always get these guys, and they have the ability to play offensively, defensively, and everywhere in between, and he's another good example of that. Just a tremendous upside. Really excited to get Jaheem here. Colin, a very unique story. Offered him early. Thought we were going in the right direction. He ended up committing to another school a little north of us. When they had transition, things kind of unfolded. We made contact throughout the whole process. There's a couple guys in here you'll find when we get kids that commit to other places, right? We always take the high road, right? You never know how the world's going to change. So Colin was a case in point where we expressed to him we'd love to have him no matter when it comes. When he came back after that school had transition and he decided to come on his visit, I told him I always kind of expected to see him here wearing the orange and blue, and that's what happened. Here you see he catches the ball extremely well. A big, long, rangy athlete, does a nice couple of things after the ball is caught. Another really good player out of Ohio. One of the things we want to do when we came here is obviously talked about recruiting Illinois, but I always just think Ohio players, they love the game, they're around it, it's part of their culture. And here you see him as a punt returner, really dynamic player, long strider, got good. He kind of reminds me of Pat Bryant. That's a Brian Hightower, very athletic, gifted, long. Here you see a whip route to the boundary here. So he'll come in, whip, come on out. Sure-handed, does a really good job. You'll see how quick he trains to see it out. Now, I'd love for him to catch and secure this ball with two hands, but here you just see the natural catch ability, those big hands, that hand on the ball, that mitt. He's just very gifted. Declan Dooley, another player from the state of Illinois, from El Paso, left-footed punter. He looks like an inside linebacker. He's built like a brick house, right? And just really see the extension, flexion. Look at that on his foot. ball comes out of their knee. And then one of the great things, I picked this up with my time in New England, left-footed punters, the ball comes out of their foot, off their foot differently, causes a little bit of an issue for returners. And here you see this returner, he overstrides to the right and now can't ever find the ball, right? So a very unique preparation for teams that we're playing. I think one of the great things you can do in college football with a week turnaround, 20 hours by NCAA rules, the more unique you can be in preparation, the advantage falls in your court, right? So to have a left-footed punter in our program, very excited to see this as it goes. Here he's actually punting the ball from the 45-yard line, but you can see how quickly he turns the field here. Great extension, ends up being a ball bounces back a little bit here, but the ball landed on the 10-yard line, right? So obviously a 55-plus yard punt in the air and get it, and here's another little pooch situation. Again, just a really, really dangerous weapon for us to hopefully have in our bag of tricks as we move forward. Pat Farrell, another good Illinois player, comes to us as an outside linebacker, defensive end. He keeps getting great size and length. What he does is he just runs really well, changes direction. He might actually be a guy that eventually he's just really big, long, athletic, great player. Another guy that really did a good job of recruiting for us. Since the day we were around him to every time he came to campus, just understands the game, plays a lot like our guys, right? Plays with really good extension, really good motor, really good hustle. Here you see him again, just athletically, you see him extend it, right? Mirror the throwing hand, get up, grab it, and now he's got a pick, right? So just really excited. Kaden Fagan, kind of, like I said, the leader of our class, first one to commit to us. He's not going to play quarterback. We don't have to start a quarterback controversy, all right? They played him at quarterback just to get the ball in his hands, the level of football they're at. Here you see him just, obviously today we lost one of the all-time greats in Franco Harris, and I think this is one of the first times he ever came to our campus. I actually told him that he reminds me a lot of watching him run, like crazy as it is today. He didn't know who he was. I remember his grandpa was laughing in the corner, right? But just a big, long, athletic, and you see him pulling away from people here. Just really, really gifted player, smart, intelligent. Will be joining us in January. I can't tell you how excited we are to get this young man in the program, and here you see just his ability to kind of get it and go. Here's another one coming across, kind of old school formation, but a little counter puller, just able to run through people, and you see him get vertical in a hurry. Once he gets in open space, no one's going to catch him. Excited as heck to get Kaden here. Cameraman even got excited. And then here's another one at QB. Kind of coming, and this just shows the power that he has, right? Like, it's not just one, it's a second one as well. So just really excited to see Kaden get in our program. Nate Ginn comes to us from Vero Beach. Long athletic body. We actually got him up here during the course of the summer. Played high school football for a guy, Lenny Jankowski, who I've known for over 20 years. Here you see him catch a nice little in route, a little bit of yards after catch. Very raw, long, athletic, runs extremely well. Performed well at a couple camps that kind of drew the attention of not just us, but a lot of other people. Here you see him in the slot, using him as a wide receiver. Does a nice job of catching the ball. High points it, gets his foot down. Use him inline here as a little bit crossing route, but again, just catches the ball extremely well. Had him in camp this summer, really good. JoJo, one of our best recruiters, a guy from East St. Louis, excited to get back into East St. Louis with Coach Sunkett. Obviously a state champ, and we'll show these clips here in a minute, but here you see JoJo. What I love about him, he has in the ball, off the ball line of scrimmage, but he also has some value on the line of scrimmage, you'll see, but just a very athletic, explosive, dynamic player. Really think he brings a lot to the table. Does a lot of really good things coming off the edge. Here you see one. He actually kind of takes the reverse and ends this play pretty quickly. Comes to the ball. He's a great kid, a lot of personality, a lot of fun, but he plays angry. Plays very, very angry, which is fun to watch. Here you see him coming off the edge again. Another just quick hit to the edge. You see the quick hands. Does a double swipe down, drives the elbow through, and then looks not just to make a tackle, but he looks to make the strip sack. Gets the ball out and exchange, creates a turnover for his defense. Then here's another one showing his athleticism. Quick out to the right over it. He feels it. He senses the screen. He sees the running back coming up inside him. Really good football IQ awareness. Redirects, change of path, and then I was going to have it 3, and then he asked me this morning, Coach, can you put my right? So this is obviously in our stadium here, state championship game, so we got him a chance here. He absolutely, positively makes the wrong read. You kind of just follow your blocker, right? He decides to avoid the blocker, makes one guy miss, makes the second guy miss, makes the third guy miss, and then he tucks it into a speed. So a really, really dynamic player, very athletic. I think we got a really good one here in JoJo. His teammate, Brandon Henderson, neat story. We actually offered Brandon early on, had him to camp. He made another decision, but our coaches just stayed after him, stayed positive. Another game here in our turf. Here you see him climb to the second level. Just really athletic. I get excited. He plays both guard and tackle. Has really, he just played an All-American game. I saw him have 3 or 4 pancakes in that game. Here you see him just kind of have the ability to turn, torque, and have really good power, bringing his feet, bringing his hips, plays a really good extension. And then here you see it again, same thing, getting to the second level, and then you'll see him just not only stay engaged, but able to finish things off. Plays a really, really good demeanor. They just couldn't be more excited. Sabor, probably, I know he got bumped up in recruiting to a 4-star and certain things, but this is one we've been excited about for a long time. His mom, Renice, is an incredible lady that just has raised a really good kid that's got a lot of ability, long, athletic, and here you see, man, this kid loves to play the game. Here you see him come out of nowhere, very explosive, dynamic, very long. One of the things you'll see with all of our recruits, especially on the defense side of the ball, they all have a lot of length, and here you see Sabor coming back off it. Just his burst, right? Like right there he is, and boom, just the burst that he has, the length that he has. Was a very decorated wide receiver in the conference that he played in high school, very successful high school program. Here again, you're going to see him come up out of nowhere, boom. Just really aggressive, athletic, long player. And here you got another situation where he plays off, comes back, and again, just real instinctive player, really long arms, gets a chance to make a pick, and then can turn it into points. Really, really impressed with Sabor. He'll be a guy that we feel can come in and do a lot of things early in the program. Extremely physical, extremely intelligent, huge upside. TJ McMillan, coach's son, is actually his brother is a college football coach. Here you see TJ coming out. He's playing the center position here. Boom. Now he comes out. Oh, I'm sorry. He's at backside tackle. Here you see him come. Just really, really good. Most big guys like this, all right, when they engage in somebody, might just fall down, but you see TJ just kind of take it, see where he's at, and looking for the next level. Runs extremely well. Actually, we watched his film, really liked him, but the actual decision made by him was Coach Miller went and watched him play baseball and saw him run the bases and just felt this is a guy that could come in. We'll probably play him at the center position. He's really played center and tackle. Here you see him again. Just really good job of getting engaged, using his feet, and sending him to the ground. Very, very physical player. Plays with a lot of attitude and demeanor. All right. Mason Moragan couldn't be more complimentary of Coach J-Mo. Getting this guy really 2-time state champ, back-to-back, been in the game 3 times. Very, very athletic. Here you see him kind of what we call a sidestep, right? Boom, he sidesteps, gets the player to lean, long, burst to the ball, plays extremely hard. Just a really tenacious attitude. His dad was a college football player as well. Here you see him again, just hitting on the edge, long levers, plays hard. Everything he does is 100 miles an hour. Boom, just really light on his feet. He's a guy that we think the upside to be a defensive end in our system is on the future. Really couldn't be more impressed with his athletic burst, and he's a guy that's earned it, right? Wasn't high recruited. We don't really worry about what other people think. We worry about what we think, and just he immediately made an impact on us when I saw his film, and then we got him here and met with him on the sideline during a spring practice, fell in love with his attitude. David Alano, a kid out of Naperville, came in again. We liked him on film, but he came in and worked our special teams camp. Here you see him kicking a long field goal. 3 things with David, right? He's extremely bright, intelligent, great character. I think as a kicker, you got to have a guy that got that little personality to him, so he checks the box there. And then leg talent-wise, he gets the ball up very quick, right? You see here how quick that ball gets up, Accurate, very powerful leg. Had him here in camp. Here you see again, he just drives that ball up and through in a hurry. Really impressed. And this is now they kick off from the 40, right? We kick off from the 35, but you really get an idea of, right? If you wonder if it went through, watch this group right here. Oh, yep. You can't see it. They saw it. That baby, he had 2 or 3 go through the upright, right? So really just a very explosive, dynamic player. Caleb Patterson out of Jackson, but a kid out of Pearl River. This is probably one of my favorite plays. I had a couple of them that jumped out, but this one, right? So this guy he's going against is a very talented player. In that league he plays in, there's players, but just the length, the ability to flip his hips and run and then turn back, make this play on the ball, just really impressive overall. Here's another good look. Really couldn't be more impressed with his ability to cover. He's extremely long, 6'2 plus. I remember when Coach Henry and I saw his film, we were excited. Then when we walked into the house and saw him for the first time, we started high-fiving each other around the corner because we didn't realize how big he was. And they came in this past weekend, made a huge impact on everybody. Here's another good look. You see him make a play on an in-breaking route. So he makes a play with his right hand, doesn't quite get it, comes around with his left hand and gets the ball out. Just really instinctive player that I think could have an impact, and he'll be with us in January as well. Here's another. This is probably one of my favorite plays, right? Here you see there's a run, right, and there's a corner. He's covering him down. He realizes it's a run. Now watch this, all right? So he's got a guy engaged with him, all right? Ball's right here. Watch this. Boom. Never gave up. Gave that defense a chance, right? Just a never-stop attitude. Huge personality. Very excited. Trey Smith will play outside linebacker for us. Plays for his dad, Coach Shep in Ocoee. We got 2 kids out of Ocoee. Here you see he's just a really, they use him as an outside linebacker, defensive end. Here you see him tip one off, stay with it. Very athletic. Want to say that we did a good job for him recruiting, but the vet school got him for us. He went to the vet school, and once we saw the vet school, that's where he was going. We were nationally recruiting him against several other schools. Dad and Mom had done a good job of putting an emphasis on academics, and he did that. And I remember we were sitting there and we knew we wanted veterinary science. I said, hey, we got a vet school. I know about that. Watch this, right? So most kids don't know how to do this, right? So see how he puts his hands out? Most kids go in to block a punt, they put their hands up in the air, right? But he's been coached, he's been taught, and he's got extreme length, and there's a big-time block punt, right? Just really good indicator of what we're going to get. Here you see him hit the edge, really fast, quick burst. Very long, very athletic. Here you see him on the edge. Beat this guy with true speed. Just really bends in well. I think he had 21 sacks this year, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty impressive young man overall. Cal Swanson, our one high school quarterback in the class. Cal comes to us from Oklahoma. Dad played safety at Oklahoma. He's not only a good quarterback, he's just really good athlete. Here you see him kind of step up. I'm not going to recommend we throw across the formation from the other side very often, but apparently it works here, right? Just really got the ability to be very strong arm, very powerful athlete, can run extremely well. Here you'll see him, all right, get in a situation where the answer's not there, and now you see this athleticism take off. Not exactly what I'm looking for ball security, but he's a very, very talented player. Excited about him and his mentality, his work ethic. Mom and Dad have raised a really, really good kid. Does a really good job. You see him just kind of create a play here. I think the quarterbacks, anybody that can make something out of nothing, when the plays break down and make something happen for your team, is special, and that's what he's got all over himself. This is another good look at his pass. I think Coach Lunny found him, went and saw him and throw in person, and just really liked what he saw. Elusive athlete that does a good job of making things happen. Dez he's a JUCO player that is very highly rated, but he's a guy that won't join us until June. But here you see him come around the corner, very athletic, got tremendous power. He takes a 2-for-2 here. Now 42, I don't know where he's going to school. I'm not saying he's a great player, but he does, do the ricochet effect here on those two guys. Stays on his feet, continues to play patty cake with them. At the same time, just really athletic, dynamic, and can accelerate and point to the sky when his other guy's running. Very, very, plays both guard and tackle. Here you see inside, they come right behind him. Got really good power, open up inside. He came in and bonded well with Zai and Isaiah Adams. Here you see him at right guard. Again, just really powerful, stays on his feet, athletic. I think he'll be a guy that will get in here with Tank and be able to trim him up and go. The other half of our Coley product, Zach Toby. Like Zach, he came in, we thought we were going to get him, and then he committed to North Carolina and just continued to stay after him. And just a really opportunistic player. Here you see him laying behind the tip ball, plays into him. Very opportunistic player, does a nice couple things with the ball after the catch, runs extremely well. Here you see him playing corner, actually. So he's another guy. Him and Sabor both, I think, are guys that play corner and safety that really get excited, because that's kind of the uniqueness that we do with Quan and some of our guys that play man-to-man on wide receivers as well as playing safety. So really like the way he fits into our system. Here he's playing corner. Here you see, again, really good job, good ball skills. I know Coach Shep thinks the world of both him and his son and Zach, made him a good player. And one of our later additions, Jeremiah Warren, really couldn't be more excited about this. We always look for guys with great power. This kid, here you see him playing with extension, see him press that guy, quick hands. Everybody wants to know about how fast somebody runs or how fast they do a shuttle. I want to know how fast they convert. This is a very Johnny Newton type conversion. Just plays with extension, converts, gets off the edge and makes a play. You see him time and time again on film, be able to use his hands and get off and make plays. Like, this is a good little burst. This is a 300-pound man that makes chasing down a quarterback look easy. Just really impressed with who he is, what he is. Comes from a family of 7. Dad's a pastor. Just couldn't be more excited about the 2 Michigan players. Him and Mason both really, really like what they're in. Here again, you see him play with extension, pop that guy away from him, convert up the field, and then run down a running back. I'm really excited to see where he goes. Bernardi Wilcher. Bernardi is a very impressive player, plays offense, defense. Here you see him at the running back position. A lot of times down in Florida, they'll just get their best athlete and do whatever they can with him. And here you see him convert a little empty set into a wheel route, and the guy just can't cover him. You see this, makes a nice play, and just kind of runs away from the crowd. Really, really impressive. Led the state of Florida, if I'm not mistaken, in receptions in a couple different categories. Again, really sure-handed, extremely explosive, very dynamic player. I remember Coach Henry went to watch him play in our bye week, and I think he scored 80 yards on the first play. Here you see him again, not just easy ones they can run away from. Here he has the ability to make a guy miss, convert it into a touchdown. He will be joining us early as well. So a lot of these guys are joining us halfway through the school year here.